In this video, I will show you how to create a simple settings menu for your Find the Marker Roblox game. I will only show you how to hide and show players in this video, as this is the main setting in many of these games. However, by the end of the video you will have the foundations to add your own settings. There are many forums out there and videos for game settings, but if you want me to make anything specific, just let me know in the comments and I'll have a look into creating a video on that specific feature. I'm also only going to work in the original place, because it's a bit of a pain having to do it all in a video, but make sure that any changes or anything you add into this original place, you copy and paste over into all your other places, which we covered in the previous video. So the first thing I'm going to do is create a Settings GUI. So I'm going to open my Starter GUI. I will open up the index, and what I'm going to do is duplicate the index GUI, and I'll rename this to Settings GUI. I don't want to spend loads of time designing GUI, so I'll just copy what we already have. I'll make the background visible. I'm going to move the toggle button over to the right of the index, and it looks a little bit silly because it's not exactly centered, but again, I'm not going to play around with it. And I will just make this text say the letter S for settings. What I'll also do is, if I go in the background, I will keep everything, but I'm going to remove the chosen frame. I'm going to keep the scrolling frame. I'll remove the text box, and I'll make the scrolling frame go right to the top, and then drag it all the way across too, so it takes up the entire area. If I open up the scrolling frame, I'm going to remove everything but one of the markers, so I'll keep the yellow one, just so I've got some UI to work with. I'm going to remove the UI grid layout, and I'll remove the yellow marker as well actually, and I'll delete the load chosen script. Just make sure this toggle button works, which it will do. Close all my scripts up here. Okay, now what I'm going to do then is I'm just going to add a text label with a button next to it, or two buttons to toggle on and off. So I will add in to the scrolling frame a text. I'll add a frame, and I'll rename this frame to, I'm going to make this the invisibility setting. I'll set the size to 1010 and then just scale it up. Now the only thing I will say is, because we don't have a UI grid layout, the scrolling frame isn't going to automatically scale. So you could add a list layout and make it a list, or if I duplicate this, for example, and I have one down here just off the screen, you can go onto the scrolling frame, find the canvas size and play around with the Y scale. So if we make this 2, then we can scroll down double what we already have, and just play around with this until it's perfect. So 1.3 is pretty good. But for now, I'll leave mine at 0, 0, 0, 0, just because I'm not going to be scaling anything. I'm not going to be making this scroll, but we're going to use a scrolling frame in case you have loads of settings. Now I'm going to design the text label and buttons, and I'll get back to you once I've done that. Here we go. So this is my UI. It doesn't look good at all. It looks quite sloppy, but it doesn't matter to me. Again, I'm not going to care too much about how my UI looks, but do put some effort into it. So all I've done then is, in the invisibility setting, I've just made the background transparency 1, so we can't see it. And this kind of acts as a parent frame, so that everything's grouped into one frame. That's all this serves as a purpose. The toggle button is just a button. I duplicated the toggle button down here, put it into here, and just played around with it. It's got UI corner, UI stroke, and the text label just says player visibility. Now it's not proportionate, it doesn't look too good at all, but it will do. I could scale this out, which is what I will do here. It just adds that a little bit more of effect. What we need to do now then is add a button into the UI, add a local script, and I'm going to name this toggle players. And we want to make all the players disappear and reappear. So there is a couple of ways of doing this. We can use a built-in method to hide players, or we can make our own. And we're going to make our own because then we can play around with decals and accessories too. So what we'll do is, first of all, we're going to need players. We're going to need the player service. So game::service players. And we're also going to need the local player. We can say player is players dot local player. Let's also get the button, which is script.parent. And when the button's clicked, so button.mouseButton1 click, :connect function, we are going to loop through every single player in the game and hide each player, apart from the local player. So for I, player in I pairs, players, get players, do. We're going to check if the player name is equal to the current player's name. If it is, we don't want to hide them. If the name of the player we're looking at is equal to the name of the local player, and just so we don't get confused, I'm going to name this local player up here, and this will just be player. So local player is the player who presses the button. Player is the current player we're looping through and looking at. So if the names match, we don't want to hide them, because otherwise they're going to hide their own character. So if player.name is not equal to local player.name, then we can hide them, only if the names don't match. So we want to loop through every single child in the player's character. So let's get the player's character. So local character is player.character, and we'll loop through every single item in the character. So for j, child in I pairs, and we'll do character gets children, do. And you might actually want to do get descendants, because we want to loop through, even if there's parts inside of parts, we want to loop through everything. Okay, and I'm using j here because we've already used I. If the child is a part, so if child is a part, or I'm going to use base part because that covers mesh parts too, then we'll set the transparency to 1. So child.transparency equals 1. Okay, now let's come out of this and just test that this works. So obviously it's not going to work on one player, so we need to test a server. So what I'll do is do a server and clients. I'll do 2 players and hit play. Okay, so when I press the on button, or the toggle button it should be, it actually hides the player, but we can still see their player GUI. So let's go inside the workspace, inside of the player, and we can see they've got all of these parts with a transparency of 1. And the reason we don't see their hair is because it has a handle, which is just a mesh part, and that gets set to a transparency of 1. We don't see anything related to the humanoid, because there is no head for it to be displayed on. However, under the head, where we have the player tag, that is still enabled. So if we stop the server, go back into our toggle players script, we'll say else if child is a, and we're looking for some sort of GUI. In our case, the player tag, if we actually go into replicate storage, we can see the player tag is a billboard GUI. So if the child is a billboard GUI, then child.enabled equals false. We just want to disable any billboard GUIs. We'll see this enabled property. If that's set to false, we can't see it. Now let's actually toggle it on and off. So this is to toggle player visibility off. If we want to toggle it on, we need to do the exact same code. So we can say function toggle player visibility, or just toggle visibility. And I'm going to cut all of this code and paste it in here. Now we're going to take a state, and if the state is true, that means we're going to toggle it on. We want everything to be visible. We'll copy all of this code, paste it in, and we'll just reverse it basically. Child.transparency will be 0. Child.enabled will be true. And then we'll just say else. And we'll copy all of this code, cut it in fact. So I'll cut that, paste it into here. And now we've got a function that handles this logic for us. Now we can just call in here toggle visibility, and we need true or false. Now, how can we understand if it's true or false? Well, I think we should use a text. So by default, it's going to say player visibility on, which means we can see other players. If the text says on, so we can just do if button.text equals on, then I think it's on in all capital letters. Let me double check. Yes, so I've made my text say on, I think, on. Yep. So just whatever you've set it to, so on in all uppercase for me. However you've designed it, obviously this will be different if you've changed the text to say something else. But if the text says on, then I will toggle the visibility, passing in true. Otherwise, I'm going to toggle the visibility, passing in false. And we also want to update the button text. So if we're setting it to true, I'm then going to say button text, button.text equals, and this will be off. And here I'll say button.text equals on, just so we can alternate between the two. And in here, a lot of repeated code. So I'm going to remove this if state true and just keep one for loop. And just backspace everything, just so it's in line. There we go. So make sure it looks exactly like this. I'm going to rename state to enabled. And I'm going to add a new parameter, which will be transparency. So I'll say child.transparency equals transparency, child.enabled equals enabled. Okay, and when we pass through true, instead I'm going to pass in true, and I'm going to pass in 0, because we want to make everything visible, so we want transparency to be 0. Otherwise, I'm going to pass in false and 1. Now if we test this, here we go. So I've got a player over here. If I press off, it doesn't exactly work. If I press on, it does. So we've got a bit of a glitch going on here. Let's have a look. Okay, so these are the wrong way around. This should be false and 1, and this should be true and 0. Because we want them to be the other way around. So if the button text is on and we press it, we want it to turn off. If the button text is off and we press it, we want it to turn on. Okay, now let's test it again. So we see somewhere, here we go, the other player, just here. If I press on, there we go, the player hides now completely. And if I press back on, we see they become visible. The only problem is their humanoid root part becomes grey. And there's a reason for this. It's a really easy fix. So if we open up the toggle players, first of all, let's just press play on a single player and find our player's character, which is just here, and go to their humanoid root part. The transparency of the humanoid root part is already 1, so we don't want to set the transparency of the humanoid root part to 0 when we enable it. So what I'm going to do is, after if child is a base part, then we'll say if child.name is not equal to humanoid root part, then we'll set the child transparency to transparency. If it is a humanoid root part, we just want to completely ignore it. We're not interested in it. So now let's test it one more time. Okay, so where's the other player? They are just here. If I press the on button, they completely hide, and back on, there we go. And now the humanoid root part isn't becoming a problem. Perfect. Okay, that's all for this video. In the next one, we will rank the markers in our index by difficulty. So please leave your suggestions in the comments on this video, because I only have one more video to do. And once this video is complete, I will not be taking any more suggestions. I'm just going to hide the background frame. Check out our Discord server, which you can find the link to in the description, where we're trying to build a community of future game developers. You can ask for programming help, help others, or just chat there too. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.